Give me an F. Thank you very much. I needed that. I want you to help me out on this first song by clapping your hands and saying, yeah. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say, let me hear you clap your hands. You start clapping your hands. I'll say, are you ready? You say, yeah. I'll say, are you ready? You say, yeah. I'll say, are you ready? You say, yeah, 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 yeah. 7 times. Got it?
I got that.
Okay, I believe you, but I think we should practice one time just to make sure. Let me hear you clap your hands. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, 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 yeah. And stop clapping your hands and stop saying yeah after 7 times. Oh, I don't care. You can keep on going if you can't stop. But don't start doing it until I tell you to. Especially you back there. This is called Entertainment is My Business. Your hands. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, 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 yeah. I traveled to Chicago, went to Memphis too. Saw Mr. B.B. King, heard him play the blues. Went to Detroit City just to get the Who. I caught a plane to Yorktown just to play for you. Entertainment is my business. I want you to know I'm trying to be a success. Give you a very fine show. If you think you're ready, if you think you can, I want to get yourselves together. Hey, let me hear you clap your hands. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
rowdy song.
A little rowdy. A little one about his
Big
name.
rowdy. Come on, you can do it.
No, I really can't, man.
No, you can.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not going to argue about it. I mean.
And here's a song that I wrote for Janis Joplin back when we were boyfriend and girlfriend living in the Haight-Ashbury. Back in the summer of love. And it's called Janice. Any old hippies here tonight? Yeah. Any young hippies here tonight? Any friends of Bill's here tonight? All right. You'll know. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll know you're a friend of Bill's or not. Bill W. It's called Not So Sweet Martha Lorraine. It's engraved in her back. And her face keeps flashing. She's got the knack. But you know, when you look into her eyes, that all she's learned, she's had to memorize. And the only way you'll ever get her high is to do her thing and then watch you die, sweet Lorraine. I'm Pushing out some space that's mine. Space that's mine. My daddy was a miner, and I'm a miner's son. Doomed to live in darkness till the daylight comes. Working in a hole in the ground, you know it don't seem right. Being a slave to the past ain't a way to spend your life. I gotta start moving. You know I'm wasting time. I'm wasting time. Gotta start moving. Pushing out some space that's mine. Space that's mine. Well, I told her I was leaving. She told me I could go. I felt the power pulling me on down the road. My bags all packed and the cars out back, and I can hear the engine whine. I can't go, but I can't stay. I'll leave all in my mind. I gotta start moving. No, I'm wasting time. Wasting time. Gotta start moving. Pushing out some space that's mine. 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 Hey, yeah, I was playing in Falls Church, Virginia, a few days ago. You know, I guess you have newspapers out here, right? I mean, I don't know where the hell I am. A little tiny place. I live in California, you know. But anyway, I read a week ago in the paper that this woman was in her house with her baby, and some guy was in her house who wasn't supposed to be there, and she chased him out of the house and down the street, and they captured him, and then they went to his house, and then he had like a whole bunch of stuff that he'd stolen from people's houses, including 1,000 pairs of panties. Which is funny enough as it is, but I mean, then they found out he worked for the CIA. So I thought, wow, it's probably like a, you know, a top secret operation of some kind having to do with the Al-Qaeda, maybe. And then like the story just like kind of disappeared, you know, and I was on the radio with this nutcase wannabe Howard Stern guy called Wolf. I don't know if you get him, but he was really weak, this guy. But anyway, I thought he would want to talk about the panty thing, but he didn't, like, because I don't know. He wanted to talk about Janis Joplin being a bisexual, and I wanted to talk about that, but then he didn't want to talk about it anymore. I don't have any panties, no. Not right now. Yeah, I bet you do. Thank you, man. I want to thank you for being here, really. It reminds me.
Thank you, yeah. Thank you.
So for all you psychedelic freaks out there, I'm traveling around with Paul Kantner and some people in his band. There's not the regular Marty isn't there, but anyway, I'm going to sing a song I wrote for Grace Slick a long time ago. It's called Grace. It's extremely psychedelic. I was too shy to tell her I wrote the song for her, so she didn't even know it. I recorded it with Country John and the Fish. It's called Grace. Named after a Robert Johnson song called All My Love in Vain, but that's about where it stops. It's called All My Love in Vain. storm came in and it blew down our city. Flood waters rose and swallowed our homes. We huddled together, no food and no water. They said help was coming, but they left us alone. We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited in vain. We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, but help came too late. They told us to leave our homes and our city, take just enough to survive on our own. How could we leave with no cars and no buses, with babies too young and with parents too old? We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited in vain. We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, but help came too late. Some died in wheelchairs, some died on rooftops, some died in the windstorm and some died in the rain. Some died in rest homes and some died in shelters. Some died with their loved ones, but they died just the same. And we waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. We waited and waited and waited and waited and waited and waited, but help came too late. I wrote that for my oldest child. I have 5 children. 7 Ann. She's 37 years old now. How did that happen?
How did that happen?
How did that happen? Some of you might know what I mean. Some of you are going to find out what that means. Great blessing. Children are a great blessing. Oh yeah.
God bless it.
Well, I'm going to do a few more things, take a break, and come back and do another set. I bought some CDs. I'll sell at that break. So I'm looking down the floor at a tuner, an electronic tuner. Sometimes kids ask me, how do you get that psychedelic 60s sound? I say, you get into a really small room with all your gear, smoke a lot of dope, and then don't have a tuning machine and argue about who's in tune for hours. And sooner or later, you'll stumble onto that 60s sound. Right there.
Oh, you're all set. Okay.
Thank you so much for trying to help me, because I need all the help I can get. So I guess I'm most well known for a song from the Woodstock film called about the Vietnam War, and people want to ask me to write a song about the Iraq War for a long, long time. And people were always changing. They wanted me to change the lyrics to Fixing a Dye Rag for the Iraq War, but out of respect for my generation, those of us who fought and resisted and lived through it, I don't change that song in any way. I didn't want to write a song about the Iraq War because I thought the Iraq War was going to go away. And 2 years ago on July 4th, I was at my little Unitarian Fellowship church that I go to in Berkeley, California, where I live. We have a small congregation of 150 people or so, and there was 3 families came, Gold Star families they call them, because they got a gold star back in the day when you lost a child in war. And that gold star stands for your child. So there was some gold star mothers and fathers there, and they were talking. Pat Sheehan was talking, Cindy Sheehan's husband. Cindy wasn't talking, she was sitting in the congregation, and when the sharing came at the end, she picked up the microphone and talked publicly for the first time about the death of her son, which was only 3 months then, at the time. And I had a lot of experience with Gold Star families because I built 2 war memorials for the Vietnam War, one in Berkeley for the 22 Berkeleyans who died in the Vietnam War, and 132 San Franciscans died in the Vietnam War. We put up bronze plaques. I met a lot of Gold Star families. It's a wound that never seems to, a loss that never seems to go away. I was struck then also by the brothers and sisters who had lost siblings in the war, and that scar never seemed to go away. The parents seemed to lose some of the anger, but the siblings didn't seem to lose it ever. Anyway, I guess subconsciously I was just thinking about it, and one day the phrase chicken hawk draft dodging son of a bitch came into my mind, and I thought, wow, is that entertaining or what? I don't know. And I asked a couple of friends, and they said, well, I don't know if that's entertaining. But then about 4 months ago, I was sitting at home in my kitchen and this tuning that I love so much. And this song, Support the Troops, popped into my head. There's a weird tweaking sound coming out of the speaker. It's gone now. It's gone. Maybe it was the CIA, yeah.
monitoring sound systems now. How would we know, huh? It's like the panty thing. How would we know, huh? Government work is so secret, you know.
Troops. Support the troops. Gold Star mothers, Gold Star dads, left with nothing but a folded flag. Gold Star brothers, sisters too, feel their pain. It could troops. Support the troops. Chicken hawk, trap, dodging son of a bush. Look at all of the damage you did. American war in the Holy Land. Blood for oil, not in my name. Troops. Forgotten heroes from a forgotten war, wondering what were we fighting for. World War III around the bend, that's what we get with the George Bush plan. Support the troops. Troops. Chicken hawk, trap, dodging son of a bitch. Look at all of the damage you did. American war in the Holy Land. Blood for oil, not in my name. Oh, not in my name. Shame, oh, not in my name. American shame, oh, not in my name. American shame, oh, not in my name. American shame.
So like I said, I'm most well known for that song from about the Vietnam War from the Woodstock movie. Probably most of you have seen that. Some of you, that's the only thing you know about me. Most people don't know I'm a military veteran myself. I enlisted in the United States Navy when I was 17 years old after I got out of high school in Arroyo High School in El Monte, California, in the San Gabriel Valley in Southern California in Los Angeles County where I grew up. Like a friend of mine who took off all his clothes and jumped into some cactus said afterwards, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I wrote the song in 1965 after I moved to Berkeley and I was discharged from the Navy. and we recorded it on a little 7-inch vinyl record and sold it. No, it was 33 1/3.
Yep.
And made 70 of those records. And only 70 of them were made. Put them in a little manila envelope and sold it on the University of California campus in Berkeley on a teach-in. It was the second national teach-in on the Vietnam War. And sold for 50 cents. And invented the name Country Joe and the Fish for the group that played in that. It was a jug band group playing washboards and kazoos and stuff. And then later on, when Bob Dylan went electric, we went electric also and became an electric rock and roll West Coast Bay Area band called Country Joe and the Fish. We got signed to Vanguard Records, and they didn't want to put Fixing to Die Rag on the first album. That's why it isn't on that album. They thought it was too political and controversial. So it wound up being on the second album, which is called I Feel Like I'm Fixing to Die. And when we were recording that in the studio, I thought we should give a cheer for ourselves because the world wasn't paying enough attention to us. And I was the high school band student director, played the trombone in high school, and we used to play at the sporting events all the time, and we'd spell out the name of the team, which was the Arroyo Knights, and everybody would cheer. So we were called the Fish, and so we all spelled out Fish. We all took one letter, and then one person yelled, "What's that spell?" And then we all yelled Fish, and put that in front of the song Fixing to Die Rag, which didn't make any fucking sense when you think about it. But anyway, we did it, and it was the 60s. You could do whatever you wanted to. And so you can still do whatever you want to anyway, actually. But anyway, so the audience got in the habit of doing the Fish cheer and then singing Fixing to Die Rag. And later on, we were playing at the Schaefer Beer Festival in New York City. In Woolman Rink Arena, where they have big concerts in the summertime, and the drummer Chicken Hirsch got this great idea. He said, "Why don't fuck is a 4-letter word beginning with F? Why don't we do the fuck cheer tonight instead of Fish cheer?" And we thought, wow, because about 6 months before that, he had thought up the idea of smoking banana peels and to get you high, and so how many people smoke banana peels here? Huh? Yeah, chumps. Anyway, so we knew he had good ideas, and so we said, yeah, that's a fucking great idea, And so we went out there, we did the fuck cheer that night for the first time. There was a near riot, which is always a good sign at a rock concert. There were about 40,000 people there. And after the show was over, we were back in the dressing room congratulating ourselves on our new idea. And the Schaefer Beer rep stuck his head in and he said, "You're never going to be in the Schaefer Beer Festival again in your lives." Kind of bummed us, but we figured, fuck them if they can't take a joke. It's crappy beer anyway. But then the Ed Sullivan Show representative stuck his head in because the Ed Sullivan Show, a big TV show at the time, like a variety show where people sang and stuff, they had paid us in advance to be on the show, and they came to check out the act that they had gotten. And the Ed Sullivan rep stuck his head in and said, "You can keep the money, but you're never going to be in the Ed Sullivan Show." And if you're ever on Hollywood Squares, they ask that question sometimes, who was paid to stay off of the Ed Sullivan Show? And the answer is Country Joe and the Fish. So we kept on doing the cheer because the audience kept on liking it, and then we were playing up in Worcester, Massachusetts. Yeah, some people are probably here from Worcester, Massachusetts tonight. Yeah, all right. So we were playing up in Worcester, Massachusetts, but there was a couple cops there that night. Nothing strange happened that night. We did the fuck cheer like usual, but everybody was a little jumpy-wumpy because Jim Morrison had pissed on a cop in Florida around that time, and Janis Joplin had showed her tits to some place in the Midwest to the audience, and so after we left, the cops from Worcester called the Boston police, and they told them that we were coming, So we got there, and we were playing at Boston Gardens, which is a big, huge sporting place, which is now torn down. And so I was back in the dressing room when I heard there was 100 uniformed police officers with guns, clubs, mace, and 2 paddy wagons, a bunch of squad cars, and a police captain looking for a guy named McDonald. So I flushed my stash down the toilet, and I went out to see him. He said, big, tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed Irish police captain, which I believe is a requirement to make captain in Boston. He looked down at me and he said, "You know, the Worcester police called us and told us about the show." I said, "Yeah, that's great." He said, "No, you don't understand, pal. Don't say it here." I said, "What's it?" He said, "You know what I mean." I said, "No, I don't know what you mean." He said, "Yes, you do know what I mean." I said, "No, I don't know what you mean." He said, "Yes, you do know what I mean." He started to turn red and shake all over. So the sergeant pulls me over in the corner and he says, "Come on, be a little cooperative." I said, "That's no problem." He said, "Well, you know, don't say it here." I said, "What's it?" He said, "You know what I mean." I said, "No, I don't know what you mean." I knew what they meant, you know, but I wanted to hear him say it, but there's a law in Boston, at least then, cops couldn't say fuck on duty. I'm sure that's changed. So, the sergeant drags me back to the captain. The captain says, "If you say it here, we're going to beat you up and we're going to take you to jail." I said, "Oh, I know what you mean." So we went back into the dressing room. We had one of those terrible things called band meetings where we discussed, you know, this situation. We were experimenting as a generation with something called participatory democracy back in those days. You might remember that phrase. The last presidential election shows you what participatory democracy can get you. So we decided we were going to do the love cheer that night because we didn't want to get beaten up and taken to jail. And so we got we didn't feel masochistic, but sometimes we did, but we didn't that night. So anyway, we got up on stage, big tall stage. In front of the stage was 100 uniformed police officers with guns, clubs, and mace, and helmets, and face shields. And the captain was marching back and forth, staring at me, and twitching. His face was twitching back and forth the whole show. And behind the drums was 25 guys with trench coats, crew cuts, and sunglasses. They weren't our roadies. And we could see the back door open, you know. There was like those paddy wagons out there just with the doors open, just waiting to throw us in, you know. So we spelled out love that night, which thoroughly confused the audience. And after the show was over, the captain came over, he put his arm around me, he said, "That was a great show. You can come back anytime you want." I said, "Oh, fuck you." So we went back to the San Francisco Bay Area, and the band broke up again because every time the band would like go on tour, it would always break up. And then I had a solo career again, so I got a job working in Massachusetts, and my lawyer says, "No, you can't go to Massachusetts. There's a warrant for your arrest in Worcester, Massachusetts, for leading the crowd in a lewd, lascivious, and wanton cheer." I didn't know what those words meant, but it didn't make any difference. I was going to be tried anyway. So I got a Massachusetts lawyer, and then I flew into Worcester. I couldn't even say Worcester back then. Flew into Worcester, and I got off the plane, and I was met at the airport by Phyllis Hoffman, Abby Hoffman's sister, because the Hoffman family had a medical supply house in Worcester, which might explain Abby's behavior a little bit. So we go to the courthouse, and we're walking around looking for the courtroom where the trial's going to be, and we finally find the right room, and then we try to go in, but the sergeant of arms stops Phyllis at the door. He says, "I'm sorry, women are not allowed in the Worcester court with slacks on."
Oh, no.
She says, "Oh, that's cool." She goes in the toilet, takes her pants off, and wraps her coat around her waist and comes back. He says, "Okay, come on in." So we go and we sit down, you know, and the trial starts. The prosecuting attorney had brought 2 women from a New York State college who'd been at that concert that night. He put them on the stand and asked them if they were offended by the cheer, and they said no, they weren't. So they didn't know what to do because there was nobody left in the courtroom except the stenographer and the judge, you know, and Phyllis and me. So he put me on the stand to prove I was offended by the cheer. I thought that was a gutsy tack to take, you know. I didn't think it would work. He said, "Mr. McDonald, you have a daughter, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, try to imagine her and her friends around the corner saying, 'You know what?'" I said, "Well, who started it?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Well, I don't know what to tell you then." He said, "Okay, forget about that. Imagine you sit down to dinner one night, your daughter says, 'Pass the fucking salt.' What do you think about that?" I said, "Well, she's only 2 years old. It'd be her first coherent sentence. I'd be proud of her." So the judge looks over at me and he says, he's 87 years old. It was the last trial he ever presided over. He said, "I don't get it. What's the connection between this obscene chant thing in the Vietnam War. And I said, well, if you were finding out you were going off to the Vietnam War, you would say, oh, fuck. He didn't find that profound or funny, and he fined me $50, and we appealed the case. It was later thrown out of court. The whole thing cost me $3,000 back in the day, judging by the inflated cost of marijuana and gasoline. That would probably be about $30,000 today. But I got this story out of it, so I guess that's a little something, you know. So as I mentioned, I'm a military veteran, and
All right.
it's nothing to clap about, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. What are we going to do now? You fought for our country.
I didn't fight.
And I did.
You did?
Back in the day.
Good for you, man. I hope you. It's good to see you made it back alive.
Well,
Where do we go from here,
halfway.
Joe? Oh,
I'm halfway dead now. My kids are click the benefits.
They're not enough. You know that.
you said that out loud.
Bring it down there.
So over the years, I've referred to the commander-in-chief in this wonderful, glorious democratic land of ours, who's always a civilian, the President of the United States, as a fucking commander-in-chief. Because in the military, we don't really like the commander-in-chief because he's always giving orders down the chain of command that can get you in a lot of problems if you happen to be. Commands never go back up, just like salmon do upstream. And so, through a bunch of presidents, I would refer to the president as the fucking commander-in-chief. But during Bill Clinton's administration, the term fucking commander-in-chief took on so many levels of meaning that I really miss the guy for that reason, you know, for this joke. But anyway, I hope that George W. Bush finds something to fuck, maybe his wife or an intern or something, and stops fucking over us. But in the meantime, this one's for you, George W. Bush. Give me an F! Give me a U! Give me a C! Give me a K! What's that spell? What's that spell? What's that spell? What's that spell? Uncle Sam, you held a can. Got himself in a terrible jam. Way down yonder in the Vietnam. Put down the books, they got it gone. I'm gonna have a whole lot of fun. 1, 2, 3, whoa, here I go. take a little break now, and if you want to talk to me about some CDs, I got them up here. I'll be right back.
People are loving it.
Okay, I'm going to do one last set here and start off with a song I wrote for Greenpeace Foundation called Save the Whales from an album called Paradise with an Ocean View.
When my grandpa was a boy, he went down to the general store, saw a picture book of a whale shooting its mouth and flashing its tail. Then he got a sailor's dream, cruising around on the salty sea, joining up with a fishing crew to go and get a whale too. Tell me what kind of men are these that sail upon the salty sea, up in the rigging and helping men, swallowing the deck and shorting harpoons. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. There are lots of whales in the deep blue sea. We kill them for the industry. Drag them alongside, chop them in two, and melt them down and sell it to you. Hardly is a sailor alive and keep the tears from his eyes. He remembers the good old days when there were no whales to save. Thank the Russians and Japanese for scouring the deep blue seas, looking for ivory and perfume, plastic toys and pet food. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. Shanghai by the light of the moon, put out from Boston in the middle of June, and after 6 months out at sea, it's nothing but death and misery. Set off on a 3-year cruise, a Union ship and a Union crew. After 6 months you begin to see whaling's not what it used to be. Modern ship and a modern crew with sonar scopes and exploding nozzles, and mechanical boat made out of steel. A floating machine will kill all the whales. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early. Help me out, clap your hands, come on, clap, 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 clap. Okay, let's try singing the chorus together. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises. Early in the morning, here we go. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early. Try it by yourselves. Don't stop, come on. A lot of sailors here in Danielson. Come on, come on. Oh yeah. When my grandpa was a boy, he went saw a picture book of a whale shooting its spout and flashing its tail. And he got a sailor's dream, cruising around on the salty sea, joining up with a fishing crew to go out and get a whale or two. Tell me what kind of men are these that sail upon salty seas, up in the rigging in the afternoon, swabbing the deck and sharpening harpoons. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early in the morning. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early. One more time. Hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, hooray, up she rises, early. Save the whales, save the earth, save ourselves. Red and swollen tears tumble from her eyes, while cold silver birds who came to cruise the skies send death down to bend and twist her tiny hands, and then proceed to target B, in keeping with their plans. Khaki priests of Christendom, interpreters of love, ride a stone leviathan across a sea of blood, and pound their feet into the sands of shores they've never seen. Delegates from the western land to join the death machine, and we send cards and letters. The camels lie beside the road, their bodies baked in mud. Fat flies chew out their eyes, then bathe themselves in blood. And superheroes fill the skies, tally sheets in hand, yes, keeping score in times of war. Takes a Superman. The caravan crawls past hidden death, its cargo shakes inside. Soldier children hold their breath, then kill them as they hide. And those who took so long to learn the subtle ways of death lie and bleed in desert sand, with questions on their breath. And we send
ticket. Bring them home. War on terrorism. That's a weird thing, huh? The Al Qaeda, they don't even have a uniform or a flag. It's weird. Just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, it gets weird. No country, no flag, no uniform. They're everywhere. And don't make a fucking cartoon about Muhammad or you're really in trouble. You're really in trouble. Just don't make a cartoon about Muhammad because then they're very loving and everything, but then they'll kill you. That's the Dutch. I thought, how weird it is that it was like, because already we were warned, well, some of us in the Paul Kantner entourage, that when we go to Pennsylvania Dutch land, don't say the fuck word or anything, you know. Yeah, because they're very conservative, religious people, the Pennsylvania Dutch. And then I thought, well, that's weird because, like, if you ever have you ever been to Amsterdam or Holland? Because that's where, like, the Amsterdam Dutch are, like, you know, you could say that's where the cartoons came from, was like the Dutch newspapers. It's like, so, you know, when I was traveling around in Germany and I was on radio all the time, and they were always talking in German, and I was on television in German. They were talking about Woodstock, and they were talking German, and blah, blah, blah in German, and they would say, blah, 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 Country Joe, blah, 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 fuck, blah, 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 Country Joe, Woodstock, F-U-C-K, fuck, cheer, blah, blah, blah. And so, like, about the 6th interview that I did, and it's government TV and radio in Germany. So I said to the tour guide, wow, this is a very progressive country, you know, because you can say fuck on television and radio, but in the United States you can't do that, you know. I get, really, it would be terrible, you know. And he said, oh, no, you don't understand. In German, fuck doesn't mean anything. In German, the word's fiek. You can't say fiek on the radio. And then I thought, wow, there's a thin line between fiek and fuck. If I'd done the fiek cheer at Woodstock, then I couldn't work in Germany, but I could work all over the United States, you know. And if you want to I'll take you on a little, my mind is, since now, you know, since every time we win a war, then all the people that we fought come to the United States, and so the Vietnamese are all over the United States now, and they have noodle shops all over the place, really popular noodle shops, and the noodle shops serve a noodle which is spelled P-H-U-C. It's a fuck noodle. And so I thought, wow, so I could give, in Vietnam, if I went there, I would give, you know, the fuck cheer for the fuck noodle, the famous noodle that's Vietnamese noodle. So that's how my mind works. Anyway, this is a psychedelic instrumental, which I'm going to play it the way that I wrote it, which is Section 43. I just made a new album of instrumental music, and that's on there with Nature Sounds by a guy named Bernie Krause, who tours the world recording nature. And this is called Section 43. So here's a new song I wrote about, dedicated to the crew of the Kursk. It's about nuclear submarines and submarine duty. People go out on nuclear submarine duty for 6 months. You know, they like vanish. And one surfaced in Hawaii recently and ran into a tourist sightseeing boat full of Japanese and killed a bunch of them. And they come up, and then they go back down. There's like about a lot of nuclear submarines all over the planet. We have some, they have some, they have some, and they're waiting. You know, when you think about it, it's like everyone's like really kind of upset about the boots on the ground in Iraq and all that, but you know, lurking down there, not making contact. And if you're in submarine duty, your family doesn't know where you are for 6 months. You just disappear. There's only like 1 or 2 people in the Joint Chiefs that know where those fuckers are. Anyway, so I thought, that's an amusing concept and a reality. So this is called Submarine, and it goes a little something like this. When I was in the Navy, they used to tell us there's a right way, a wrong way, and a Navy way. If that isn't a mind fuck, just think about it. You'll enjoy this song. I joined the Navy, what did I see? Inside a submarine, far away from those I love. Sky and the earth above in a submarine, nuclear submarine. We don't ever make a sound, we don't want to be found by the enemy, so quiet as can be in a submarine, nuclear submarine. When we come up fast, and then we go right back down again, cruising the ocean floor inside a machine of war. Submarine, nuclear submarine. There's a right way, and there's a wrong way, and there's a Navy way. So they say. Somebody please rescue me, I'm trapped inside my submarine. Everything is going black, we'll never get back from our submarine, nuclear submarine. One more day before I die, I want to see the earth and sky, water slowly seeping in, running out of oxygen in our submarine, nuclear submarine. There's a right way, and there's a wrong way, and there's a Navy way. So they say, so they say, so they say, so they say. My son, who's 27 years old now, he was about 10, and my kids are not Republicans. And I don't know if they're proud to be Democrats now. They're fucking assholes. They're all very, 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 very rich. very rich. I love you people a lot, and I enjoy doing what I do, but if I was very, 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 very rich, I wouldn't be here. I'm sorry. No, you'd be watching me on pay-per-view, you know.
Your loss is our game.
Me and probably my game because it keeps me right-sized. When I'm not right-sized, nobody knows what's gonna fucking happen. Okay, so I'm gonna play a little song called Bass Strings that somebody requested, and it's about smoking drugs, and it's a little bit of story about what it used to be like, what happened, and what it's like now. But before I do that, I'm gonna tell you another little story. Because the younger people don't remember the 60s, and some of the older people don't remember the 60s too. So I remember most of it, but there's a lot. I'm lucky to be alive, let's say that. But anyway, Country Joe and the Fish, about 1967, we're leaving San Francisco Bay Area to go up and play in Vancouver, British Columbia, at the Kitsilano Theater, which was a hippie ghetto up in Vancouver, British Columbia, in the Kitsilano district. We'd been there before. We were on the airplane going up. Chicken, the drummer, said to me, he said, you know, I figured out last night the chemical composition of banana peels is pretty much the same as marijuana. And if you dry out banana peels and you smoke that, scrape that white stuff off and smoke it, it'll get us high. He actually got it confused with tryptophan, which is like in the banana, which relaxes you, but that doesn't matter. Anyway, I thought, wow, that's a great idea because, we were poor. We were living on peanut butter and banana sandwiches. We just threw the peelings away, So we went up, we landed, and we went to the theater, and across the theater was a psychedelic shop where they sold posters and rolling papers and stuff like that, They're illegal now, psychedelic shops, but back in the day we had them. Now you can go into those shops and get pierced and tattooed, I think. Anyway, yeah, even commie doesn't even make any sense anymore. But anyway, so we told Linda about the banana thing, and she said, and we asked her if we could use the kitchen back in the back room, the oven. And she said, yeah, sure, that's a great idea. So we went up in the corner. We got a bunch of bananas at this little store. We went back in the back room. We ate the bananas, of course, and we took the peelings and we put them into the oven. We turned the temperature down to a very, very low temperature so we would not destroy the THC in the banana peels. And then we went back across the street to the Kitsilano Theater where we had played many times. And we started talking to the stage crew. We're going to do our sound check, and they said, hey, you see that quart water jar over there? We just dissolved 100 tabs of LSD in that water jar. If you want to, just take a couple sips during the night, help yourself, So we all took a couple sips off of the water jar, And then we did our sound check, and then we went back across the street, said hi to Linda. We went back in the back room. We, tested the banana peels, but they were much too damp to think about smoking. So we were just, shooting the shit, chilling back there, and, talking and stuff. And then so the roadies came and said it's time for the next set. So we went back across the street, and we took a couple more hits off that water jar, and we played our first set. And then we went back across the street to the psychedelic shop back in the back room, into the kitchen, and the banana peels were very dry then, so we scraped off the white stuff. We rolled up about 25 banana joints, and we sat around for an hour, looking at each other, smoking these things, going, "Hey man, are you getting high?" "I don't know, I'm getting a little buzz." "I don't know, man." I don't know. How about you?" Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So we're doing that for like an hour, and then they come and they say it's time for the next set. So we go back across the street. We take a couple more hits off the water jar, and then we played Sweet Lorraine. We played one song that set. We played a 1-hour version of Sweet Lorraine that night. We got it started, but we just couldn't stop the song, And finally we did stop the song, and then we ran back across the street, back into the kitchen, Started smoking those fucking banana joints thinking, hey, man, this shit is fucking great. I am so ripped. I can't believe it, man. I'm getting so high. It's banana. Who could imagine, So we packed up the gear. We went all over Vancouver to parties, and we told people, it's a banana. Smoke some, man. It gets you really high. They thought we were crazy. Of course, we were completely crazy. Technically, we were crazy. And we went back to the Bay Area, and right away we went to the California Hall in San Francisco and played a benefit for NORML, for the legalized marijuana campaign. And we passed out 500 banana joints to the audience that night. And we told them, it's banana. It gets you high. And so then I went up on Telegraph Avenue the next day with a pipe full of banana yuck, and I made all my friends smoke it. I said, it's banana, man. It gets you stoned. And we're going, right, yeah, maybe. So the next morning, I went over to the co-op to get breakfast, and there was no bananas in the banana bin. So I went over to Safeway. That's the big supermarket chain in California. And there was no bananas at Safeway. You couldn't buy a banana in the Bay Area that day anywhere. And I thought, wow, that's weird, So I was walking past the San Francisco Chronicle newspaper in the rack, and I saw it said, a big headline that said, banana turn on, new hippie craze. So I thought, oh, yeah. That explains it. But anyway, we forgot about the whole thing after that, 3 months later, I'm reading in the Chronicle, and I see a little headline that says, DEA smokes banana joint, Drug Enforcement Agency. And I thought, what the fuck? And I read this article, They have, joint smoking machines in Washington, D.C., probably made by Halliburton or General Electric, probably cost several $100,000 a piece, Anyway, they smoked a banana joint. The rumor got up to them. They smoked a banana joint through this machine, and it came out nothing. When you think of it, it would be illegal to have a person smoke a joint at the DEA, right? They had to have a machine. Anyway, it came out nothing. It didn't get you high. And then I remembered, it was all that LSD water that we drank that night that got us stoned. Yeah. So I took the newspaper over to Chicken's house, and I told him, I said, hey, man, you told us that bananas get you high. The DEA just smoked banana. It doesn't do a fucking thing. Look, it was all that acid water that we drank that night that got us high. He said, oh, forget about that. Last night I figured out if you smoke a cigarette through a bell pepper, it gets you really stoned. But of course, those were desperate times now. Not like today. We were desperate people. So I was driving my son, my oldest son, around in a car with his graffiti crew. They were going to go out and deface public property, and I decided I would tell them the banana story just for fun, and they all very seriously listened to it. And then Avery says, wow, Joe, yeah, I read last week in the Anarchist Handbook, if you make banana bread from moldy bananas, it gets you really high. So, as Richard Nixon and George Bush know, that a great lie, if it's good enough, lives on and on and on. So here's that song, Bass Strings, which is a code word Barry Milton used with Bruce Barthol. I said, hey, partner, won't you pass that reef around? My world is spinning, yeah. Just got to slow it down. Yeah, sure got to slow it down. Slow it down.
get so high this time. You know I'll never come down. Never come down. Leave, I'll go out to the seashore and let the waves wash my mind. Open up my head now just to see what I can find. Yeah, I'll see what I can find. What I can find. Just one more trip now, and you know I'll stay high all the time. Oh, all the time. Believe I'll go out to the desert just to try and find my past. The truth is all around me, but it's just beyond my grasp. Oh, yes, it's just beyond my grasp. Let the sand and the stars and the wind carry me back, carry me back. Moving down that rock coastline, nothing but my woman on my mind. Hear those waves pounding on sand, smell that sea air blowing inland, and I wonder if she's found another man. Blackstone Road way by the sea, I wonder if she's missing me. Four-wheel clock keeps ticking off time, measured minutes by a broken white line, and I wonder if I'm really on her mind. In my thoughts I feel her eyes, hear her smiling by my side. And then I turn around and see there's no one sitting here but me, yeah. Rubber tired, lonesome song, tell me that I've done something wrong. Days before and then we parted, wonder why I even started, and I'm thinking that I've been gone far too long. Moving past those rocks and waves, I wonder how she spends her days. Watch the sun as we go by, throwing colors off the water and sky, and I'm thinking about the rainbows in my baby's eyes. Moving past those pine cone trees, I'm sorry that I had to leave. High above on a twisted road, the ocean's moving down below, and I wonder just how far I have to go. Well, now in my thoughts I feel her eyes, hear her smiling by my side. Then I turn around and see there's no one sitting here but me, yeah, rubber-tired. Lonesome song, tell me that I've done something wrong. Days before then we parted, wonder why I even started thinking that I've been gone far too long. It's been great playing for you today. I'm so grateful that I made it through that fucking snowstorm. I drove for the 4th time in my life ever driving in a fucking snowstorm. Yeah, California boy. Thank you, God. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I'm going to close my show here tonight by playing a little song off of Paradise with an Ocean View. It's dedicated to all you people who might be going out to dinner after the show tonight. It's called Breakfast for Two. We went out to dinner. Boy, what an appetite. We just couldn't stop eating. We stayed up most of the night. And after 3 or 4 hours, stomachs began to hurt. But everything tasted so good, we didn't stop until after dessert. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. Ooh la la, you got me, honey, I've got you. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. Ooh la la, you got me, yes, and I've got you. I've eaten in Italy, yes, yes, I've eaten in Spain. Must admit I'd be licking my lips if I ever was to eat there again. But last night at dinner, you really, really blew my mind. The way we supped just filled me up. I think about food all of the time. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. Ooh la la, you got me, honey, I got you. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. Ooh la la, you got me, yes, and I've got you. People always come up to me, say, hey man, how about a little smile? Don't take life so seriously, lighten up for a little while. I say that a man's a fool if he don't know how to cry. When I get down, I do get down, but when I'm up, I know how to fly. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. Ooh la la, you got me, honey, I got you. Ooh la la, breakfast for two. me, yes, and I got you. Just one more time, you got me, yes, and I got you.
Hey, Country Joe McDonald at the Rain Desert. A good time. It was a really good show. Country Joe McDonald was here at the blizzard of 2006. You know, we haven't had a goddamn snowstorm until tonight, but hey, that's the way it is. You all turned out and you all had a good time, and spring comes back tomorrow, and we like it.
Shanghai by the light of the moon, put out from Boston in the middle of June, and after 6 months out at sea, it's nothing but death and misery. Set off on a 3-year cruise, a Union ship and a Union crew. After 6 months you begin to see whaling's not what it used to be. Modern ship and a modern crew with sonar scopes and exploding outboards, a mechanical boat made out of steel, a floating machine will kill all the whales.